Hello and welcome to another episode of Susfaction.
Yes, today is a Kyle-centric episode, and my name is Kyle,
And I'm Isella,
and
and
we're
we're
your
your
hosts.
hosts.
All
So
right, go
I
ahead.
I found the notebook that we were using originally for our intro,
Yeah,
and we've got it perfectly down.
okay.
And our outro, we've figured that out too. We fussed through it, but we got it. We got it
Yeah,
going.
good. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Esther Jones, um, and the inspiration behind Betty Boop.
Yeah.
What do you know about Esther Jones? Do you know anything about Esther Jones?
Not really. Just that she was, the inspiration for Betty Boop, and I found a lot of pictures that I had posted where she actually looks a lot like Betty Boop. She wore her hair similarly to the
With
the
a little curl.
cartoon. Yeah. She was very cute, and yeah. So that's all I really know about her.
Okay. Well, what I found out, because I didn't know much about her either, and there isn't a lot um, out there about her, because she wasn't. Well, she was, first of all, she was a African American woman
Yeah.
in the 20s.
Okay.
So like, well, I mean, at least a child entertainer in the 20s. But so like, just that alone, people being judged by their skin color.
Right. Looked at as less important.
Yeah. But Esther Jones was a child entertainer in the 1920s. She performed in Harlem nightclubs, known for her playful baby talk singing style, including sounds like boop boop a doop, managed by her father, William Jones. Now, let me get into my notes here. Esther Jones, known professionally as Baby Esther, was an African American child entertainer in the 1920s, like I said, whose singing style strongly influenced the creation of a cartoon, Betty Boop. In her early career, let's see, she was born in somewhere in 1918. The exact date is uncertain. Um, she was managed by her parents. She, again, was known for her like her just her cheeky style,
Yeah.
and like that's what popularized her, was her kind of burlesque, like almost childlike, I if you want to
Right.
say, um but singing style.
I mean, that's similar to Britney Spears. Britney had a voice that was similar to Christina Aguilera, but they asked her to sound more like a child. So the voice she put on for everyone, and what we all know, is a more childlike version of her voice.
Right,
And that's what
it's
made her
manufactured.
famous. Yeah.
Yeah. Her act was popular in the New York jazz scene during the height of the Harlem Renaissance. um and I can get into the Harlem Renaissance in a second.
Okay.
um Her connection to Betty Boop. In the early 1930s, a white singer named Helen Kane became famous for using a similar baby voice singing style in songs like I Want to Be Loved by You. When the cartoon character Betty Boop debuted in 1930, created by Mac Fleischer at Fleischer Studios, she used the same vocal mannerisms. In 1932, Helen Kane sued Fleischer Studios, claiming Betty Boop was based on her. During the trial, evidence was presented showing that baby Esther, whoopsie, hold on, crap, whoops, I lost my spot. I hit my phone. Okay. Um, During the trial, evidence was presented showing that baby Esther had performed the style before Kane, weakening Kane's case. Ultimately, Kane lost the lawsuit.
Hmm.
So I thought that was kind of interesting that
Right.
two women kind of birthed this Betty Boop character, but it was shown like um our girl was doing it first.
Right. Yeah. They were able to present enough evidence, I guess, to show that it was Esther who had inspired the character more so than, what was her name?
Helen Kane.
Helen Kane. Okay.
For decades, Esther Jones was largely forgotten, but modern historians and cultural scholars now credit her as a key inspiration behind Betty Boop. And um, let's see, Her story highlights the influence of Black performers on early American entertainment, how Black artists were often uncredited for overshadowed, and the racial dynamics of the jazz and early animation industries. Now, the back to like the Harlem Renaissance. The Harlem Renaissance was a powerful cultural, artistic, and intellectual movement centered in Harlem, New York City. During the 1920s and early 1930s, it marked a flowering of of African American creativity in literature, music, art, and politics, and reshaped American culture. Um, the movement grew out of the Great Migration, when millions of African Americans moved from rural South to northern cities like New York City, seeking jobs and freedom from Jim Crow laws. Harlem became a vibrant Black cultural capital. One of the most important voices was Langston Hughes, whose poetry celebrated Black life, jazz rhythms, and racial pride. Other key writers included Zora Neale Hurston, author of Their Eyes Were Watching God, Claude McKay, who wrote powerful protest poetry, and County Cullen. These writers explored identity, racism, heritage, and what it meant to be Black in America. Harlem became the center of jazz innovation. Major figures like Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, and Bessie Smith. Famous venues like the Cotton Club featured Black performers, though audience members were often white. And jazz became the soundtrack of the 1920s, and also as known as the Jazz Age.
Hmm.
But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Harlem Renaissance because I think it's cool
Yeah,
that Betty Boop was a part of that.
right. Definitely. And we've seen kind of a revival lately with a lot of Black culture like coming into different things, like especially into like movies and directing. And you've seen like, let's see, like Nope and Get Out
Yeah,
were two really like strong Black led films that showed things that Black people are afraid of, as
yeah,
opposed to always showing, horror from the
a white perspective.
main perspective, right?
Yeah,
The most generalized perspective. Whereas, movies like Nope and Get Out
I
show
loved
different
both of
things.
them. I like
Nope
Nope a
cracked me
lot.
up. Nope was funny to me though.
It was a little, yeah, it was a little funny. I get it. I chuckled, but I like the. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but
Yeah.
just the um when they pull back the curtain, I
Hmm.
love that.
I actually really love, and I'm gonna put a little plug in for it. The Burbs on Peacock. It's a remake of an original Tom Hanks movie, but it stars Keke Palmer, and it
I
is
love Kiki Palmer. I
hilarious.
love Kiki Palmer. Excuse me, I'm gonna get something to drink right
it's
now
it's got
because
a true crime aspect to it.
it's got
So
a true crime aspect to it.
yeah, so for our friends who like true crime and spooky stuff, or just being nosy and sticking their nose where it doesn't belong, The Burbs has definitely got all of that for you.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm down with that.
um So yeah, talking a little bit more about revivals, there's a musical that was written, and I guess it debuted last spring. It's called Boop the Musical, and it's giving Esther Jones the deference she deserves, is what they wrote here in Ebony magazine. Um, just that it's about a lot of Black women from the 1930s, and she's heavily represented in this movie, or in this musical. So I don't know, it might be something worth checking out.
Totally. That sounds cute.
Yeah. You can bootleg musicals off YouTube.
Of course.
So,
Well, I don't have much more than that. Like I didn't like in Esther Jones' later life, like I couldn't find like much on her later life.
okay. Um,
Just that I mean, it all goes back to Betty Boop.
yeah.
So, I mean,
Um,
or Baby Esther.
it
And
just
like
says that she toured internationally, and then she faded into obscurity around 1934. So, well, not for very long. She wasn't really out
yeah,
there.
A Mysterious Life. A very little is known about Esther Jones' later life.
Mm.
She faded from the spotlight, and historical records about her are limited. Unlike many white performers of the era, she did not receive lasting fame or financial success.
Yeah, and there's even dispute as to whether she passed in 1934 or 1984.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's two different accounts. It's just they're not sure. They just didn't really keep track of her. It says that
That's
her
sad.
disappearance from public life was at age 15.
And that's a lot of life for a 15-year-old.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyways, well, that's all I have on Esther Jones. Um,
Please join us again next week for another episode. We post every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, trust no one,
question
question
everything.
everything.
And if you want to send us your stories to read on the podcast, anything spooky, scary, history related that's a little bit spooky, you can reach us at susfactionpod@outlook.com. If you want to send in your stories for us to read on the podcast, you can reach us at susfactionpod@outlook.com. And we do have an Instagram.
Our Instagram is at susfactionpod, and um, some people are already pretty excited about this month's Patreon episode. I posted a teaser, and it got a lot of likes already. They're pretty
Oh, cool.
interested in the stories. So make sure that you check it out because I have posted a little teaser for this month's Patreon episode.
Sweet. Look out for that. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.